Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and a slap heard around the world. So, literally the most entertaining moment in TV history, right? I don't know, man. This is a little bit out of my lane, but I'm going to remain in my lane. I know there's a lot of people out there talking about, it's a black on black crime and and whatever. There's certainly a conversation to be had there. Would he have gotten up and hit a white person? Which white person would he have hit, right? Not just would he have hit a bigger person. Chris Rock is not exactly the biggest person in the world. Would he have hit Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Probably. Would he have hit Vin Diesel? Probably. Would he have hit freaking, I don't know, John Travolta? Somebody said John Travolta. Yeah, probably, Probably wouldn't have hit an old man. Probably wouldn't have hit a woman. If Amy Schumer was up there, probably wouldn't have hit her, Would have been funny if Jada got up and did that. But I think it's just one of those things, At the end of the day, he had plenty of time to assess. Like, he laughed at first, and then he had plenty of time to assess, what should I do? He chose. This was not an act of aggression at the very end. No, he chose to get up and go up to a place where he wasn't supposed to go up to. You were not called up there, He chose to walk over there, and he sucker punched him. I know there's a bunch of people who are going to be like, it wasn't a sucker punch. Listen, some people need to actually learn what fighting is. I didn't say he blindsided him. No, he went up to him, face to face, right? But he didn't go walking up there and said, what'd you say about my wife? He didn't go up there and, put his hands up. He didn't do anything. He just walked up there. And Chris Rock, with his hands behind his back, leaned in like, uh-oh, what's going on? And he didn't think that he was actually going to, dude, there are cameras everywhere, right? Cameras everywhere. He wasn't thinking this dude was going to slap in the face. He had in the back of his mind that maybe he could, but he wasn't just thinking like, uh-oh, I better defend myself. I better run. I better, security. He just froze a little bit. And he's just like, leaned forward like, hey, we're still buds, right? Like, that was the look that he had in his face. We're still buds, right? Like, are you really mad at me? He kept his hands down and behind his back, a sign of, non-aggression. He didn't even lean back like, I might have to know. He leaned forward. Pure signs of non-aggression. This dude still went and slapped him hard in the face, as hard as Will Smith could. Didn't even knock the guy off his freaking feet, but like, you heard the thing. It wasn't fake. All right. You heard, like, they're both mic'd up. You heard the boom like that. Timing ain't that good. You saw Chris Rock, like, lose it afterwards. The documentary, the award, you know what? Let's just go to the thing. Like, he lost it after he lost his composure and everything. Look, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He went and smacked him. He smacked it. He didn't punch him. There's a bunch of people, he punched him. My God, do people not know? Like, do people not have, are there really that many people who've never been in a fight in their entire lives? More people should have grown up in Jersey in the 80s. I'm sorry, dude, Come on. No, he walked up and he sucker punched him. Well, slapped him. Sucker slapped him, right? Cold-blooded. It's a funny line, but it's not how the James Brown song, it's not how, what do you call it? The song goes, cold-blooded Rick James. There we go. Like, get the song right. Come on. Anyway. No, he straight up just, bitch slapped him in the face. And, yeah, he didn't say, like, put up your dukes or anything like that. There was no honor in that whatsoever. None. Somebody wants to say, oh, well, somebody... None. All right? This wasn't a... He could have come up to him afterward and said, listen, you're going to apologize to me or I'm going to hit you. At least then it would have been something like, oh, shoot, well, either I will apologize or I'm going to put my hands up. You're at least letting them know what's about to happen. You can't sit and say, oh, look in his eyes and you know what he's going to do. Sorry. I don't think there are that many body language experts out there. No, I just don't see it. My apologies. I hope I'm not offending anybody. No, that was a sucker punch. This, I'm going to stay in my own lane, right? So if the person was white or Asian or whatever, would he still hit? Yeah, as long as it wasn't an old man or a woman, as long as it wasn't an old man or a female, I think that he would have slapped the person, right? There's that one gay guy who a couple years ago on the red carpet came up and kissed Will Smith full on the mouth, and Will smacked him. He actually tried to smack him, and he missed. So he leaned in, made sure he got him with the second one, Not even on the backhand. He wasn't even like, bam, like I missed you on the first. And he's like, whoop, bam. Like he wanted to get that clean, open hand slap, right? He wanted that, and he got it. It is what like Will Smith at this point, he has a history of slapping people, right? From this point on, if Will Smith is walking towards you and he's looking right at you with his beady little eyes, you better expect that there might be a slap. There's a 50-50 chance there's going to be a slap. You know what I'm saying? If Will Smith was walking up to me and looking directly at me and there was any kind of speed whatsoever, anything above nonchalance in his pace, I'm right away leaning back and I put my hands up. I'm like, you want to go? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? You better hope you hit me first, Nah, that's just not going to happen. But he goes and he slaps him. Now, what troubles me is that I hear, before we get into that, I didn't see this as a black-on-black crime or anything like that. I literally just saw it as a person who saw an opportunity. Like, one, this person is smaller than me. I can get away with hitting him. That was certainly there. But more importantly, why I say that he would still hit The Rock or Vin Diesel or John Travolta, whatever, is because he had the same mindset as, I used to work retail years ago, and there's a reason why I will, God willing, never work retail again. I hope I never get to that point where I have to work retail again. And if you've been working retail for any number of years, try and get out of it because you know how it feels. Do anything you can to get the hell out of that. Work in the back. I'd rather sling a mop. I'm not joking. It would be more honorable to sling a mop than to have to deal with customers on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? If you're swinging a mop in the back. Because no. Customers can be wretched, horrible people. When you're wearing that name badge and the other person isn't, when you've got to be polite, the other person doesn't, when you've got to say sir or ma'am and the other person doesn't, when you've got to be agreeable and the other person doesn't, when you can't use pejoratives, the other person can, when you can't be snarky or mean and the other person, and you get where I'm going with this. The way that some customers treat people who are just trying to keep their job. They're more interested. They've got to keep their cool so that they can keep their job. There are some situations where you can't even walk away if someone's treating you in a certain way. It's amazing the way that some people will treat people like a target of opportunity. This person is wearing a name tag. I know this person's name. There's power in knowing someone's name. Like there's a whole religion, voodoo, built around it. There's a whole way of life built around it. Name magic. The idea of somebody's name. I now have a certain level of control over you. If somebody's walking down the street and I'm like, hey, I can put all the bass in my voice as I want. I can make it come out my nose. I can say it with my whole chest, whatever. There's only but so much you're going to get. But if you know somebody's name is, Joe. Joe! Now you got some power into it. That's what's going to get somebody... Right? There's power in it when someone's wearing a name tag. Now, obviously, everybody knows each other's name in this particular situation, but it's not that. It's like one person is hoping that he's going to get called back to do the Oscars again next year. Will Smith is talking about, am I going to, get invited next year? Because you handled it really poorly? Yeah? Somebody made fun of your wife? You keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. And he yells it twice, puts some stank on it a couple of times towards the end of the second one. You know who's embarrassed Will Smith more than anybody else? Jada Pinkett Smith. I know they got an open marriage, so he's cheated on her multiple times. She said it. He's acquiesced and said, yes, I have. I don't think he said, yes, I have, but there was a clear agreement on that red table thing that he has cheated on her multiple times. I don't know how many times, well, not cheated. He slept with multiple people because they have an open marriage. I don't know how many times she's done it, but she's done it at least that once. And like, it was a big deal. You know, he had autoimmune and blah, 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 whatever the hell it was, you know, and they were sleeping together for a long time. And she talked about it. He brought it up. He questioned it. He got memed hard, you know. That's the look of a man who's been cucked hard. And he brought it up. And she was looking at him just like, wow, dude, that is cold-blooded. Rick James again. Anybody got some love gun? I mean, what the hell? Anyway, that's some cold stuff, man. But he brought it up. And she's talked about it without him on the show multiple times afterwards. Oh, how Will and I's relationship is, even though I'm still banging this guy. It's like, oh, how he feels about me sleeping with, you know, with what's the guy's name? August? Something like they both know him or something like that. He's young. Whatever. Like, that's their own business. Well, the problem is it's not their own business anymore because they made it public and they monetized it. No, nobody has the right. You know, she has Algonquin's disease or Appalachian disease, whatever the hell that thing is called. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that. I never heard of that until I looked it up today because I saw somebody go and mention it. Oh, she's got freaking, I don't know, ABC disease. Well, that sucks. What's that? Oh, she loses her hair, but it can grow back. And then she would possibly lose it again and stuff like that. Okay. So you just described like half of the male population. I've been very fortunate with my hair. Very fortunate. There's no Rogaine or anything like that with me. I'm not going to Trump when the wind blows. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get political here. No love, no hate. I'm just here saying hi, you know? But man, like, yeah, honestly, I am very fortunate. I don't have to deal with that stuff. But like, a lot of men do. A decade ago, more than a decade ago, talking to friends and they're like, you know, fake mad at me. How do you still have all your hair? I don't know. 11, 12 years from now, how would they feel now? I haven't seen some of these guys in a long time. But like, how would a lot of these guys feel now? You got no hair on your head. Like, you know, that happens to guys all the time. Oh, it's different for a woman. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're in the equality thing nowadays. I don't want to hear that nonsense anymore. I don't want to hear that. You know? Especially when there's so many women, especially some beautiful black women, rocking that bald head. Like, my God, hello? You know? When you get that storm look, when you just got the hair on top, but like it's all shaved to the side. Whoo, how you doing? You get the half thing? Nah. Or even totally bald. Nah, I don't want to hear that anymore. I do not want to hear that anymore. Frickin', I forget what her real name is right now. But the Dora Milaje Okoye, you know what I'm saying? The Michonne, the actress who plays those two characters. No, don't want to hear about bald is not sexy. You know, Jada even looked good with the bald head. Like, I just don't want to hear it. It was like, I can't grow my hair back. Welcome to the lives of half of the men in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like all the men trying to do comb-overs or wearing a toupee and whatnot. I just do not want to hear it. I have zero interest, zero sympathy. It's not going to happen. All right? You get to be offended. You get to be offended. When you go to a show where you know there's going to be a comedian there, oh, he's made the joke twice. You know, he's made a joke twice before. And? What, 6 years prior in 2016? And now this year he makes a joke. There's 6 years difference, and it's not even the same joke. It's just something different. Like, come on. He made a G.I. Jane joke, just like he said. Yo, I made a G.I. Jane. It was a G.I. Jane joke. This is the world where, you know, it's one of those things. Chris Rock was just an employee. That's the way that I view it. All right? If you're somebody else and you want to say it's a black on black crime issue, or it's a, you know, Hollywood elite versus, you know, lowly community, that's all on you. Like, I'm approaching it from this angle. This guy is working for a company. Might as well have a damn name badge on. And the other dude is just a person there hoping, you know, he's not even just a customer. Not even like a paying customer or member at some, you know, Costco or something like that. No. This is some dude who is here to potentially win an award. He's in a very, hate saying this, but he's in a very privileged position, and Chris Rock is just hoping to keep his job. No police were called. He wasn't escorted out. He still got to receive his award, right? He still got to go up and speak. He didn't have to apologize. He apologized in general. He didn't say, Chris, I want to apologize to you. Or Chris, I'm going to talk to you in the back and, just, I love you, man. And, hopefully we can, come to an understanding and whatnot because, I love you, man. Just it is what it is. You're going to go and bring up God, stuff like that. Meanwhile, you snap. And you got people, I was really disappointed that Denzel was just like, no, it's cool. Like, so you think that it was okay that he slapped him? I don't know. Maybe he went up and he talked to Chris also. I don't know. So like I said, I'm trying to stay in my lane as much as possible. But I see something like this, and all I see is there are two different levels of power, extreme differences in power right here, right? If you're an employee and you've had to go in and talk to your manager, how many times has it just been your manager? How many times have they brought in another manager or two? Also, do you get representation? You know what I'm saying? Not if you're not at a union or something like that. And even then, like too many times, man, way too many times. It's that power play, Will Smith had all the advantage. He had the size advantage. He had the name power, the star power, right? He was there not just as a customer. He was there as a distinguished guest sitting front row up for, Best Actor? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, he had all the privilege, all the favor on his side. What did Chris Rock have? He had the awkward position of trying to make up jokes on the fly. He didn't know everybody who was going to show up. Oh, there might have been a guest list. Doesn't mean everybody was going to show up, right? Elton John performed 2 songs while he's already on tour right now. So like, come on. So, I mean, like, it is what it is, dude. Freaking... You're a role model whether you like it or not. A little nod to the Charles Barkley comment from years ago. You're a role model to the world, but you're also a role model to your kids. When I see Jaden, his son, Jaden Smith, goes and makes a comment, that's how we do it. Really? You're proud of your father? Jada being proud of Will? People cheering for Will? Like, this is encouragement. Sure, maybe Will's going through a hard time. If I was going through a hard time, if I were going through twice as hard a time, I don't have that kind of name recognition. And I'm afraid that my quote-unquote white privilege, that nonsense, is not going to fly. White privilege exists, okay, in some very small corners of the world, like interactions with the police, possibly. In some cases, right? But no, with somebody like Will Smith, you know what I'm saying? No. For Will Smith to act like that, and he didn't even get publicly reprimanded, like security didn't. We saw the commercial breaks. We saw all the little commercial breaks that happened. His publicist came up to him during every commercial break. I guess, are you okay? I don't know what was said. But he came up to him between every commercial break. We saw this. I didn't see security come up to him. Denzel came to him. Tyler Perry came up to him. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Bradley Cooper. A bunch of people came up to him. You saw everybody else's reactions there, right? All these people coming up to him. Coming from him, hugging him and stuff like that. Dude just assaulted another human being because of a joke. A joke. You remember when Will Smith did that one episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and D.L. Hughley was on? And he did that episode was all about comedy is not the same as stand-up comedy. It's like, I could be funny. I think I could do what you do. And DL's like, sure? All right, come on, try. And he just got humiliated. Right? Because stand-up is not the same as any other form of comedy. It's hard being a stand-up. He did that episode where he showed that. And then to turn around and like, here's a comedian. For the most part, like, all the love in the world to Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? But he's washed up at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's asking Adam Sandler, you sure you don't have any more washed up movies for me to be in? Because I could use some money. I'm saying, hey, Tyler, I was in a couple of your movies, right? Come on. Have a brother, the way that he always talks, have a brother, okay, my Chris Rock isn't that good. Anyway, This was sad. This was genuinely sad. And Will Smith should have known better. That's just what it is. If I were to act like that in public, I promise you, if you were to act like that in public, some regular, bloke on the street, I promise you, we'd be arrested. Done. Conversation's over. And you did it on live TV? And no security came up and removed you? There's a lot of privilege in the world. That was sad, and that's a horrible moment to show. And of course there'll be some kind of a press release apology or some quoted apology someplace. I don't even care. At the end of the day, that was just wrong what he did, and I'm not going to say what the punishment should be. I don't even know what the punishment should be, but he should definitely be reprimanded in some way. There should be some sort of a punishment, some sort of consequences for his action. Why? To show everybody else that kind of behavior isn't acceptable. It's not. And if you commit it, you're going to be subjected to some kind of punishment. I don't know what it is, but you will be subjected to some kind of punishment. Maybe it's jail time. I don't know. Because I know that when there are rules for the common people, like me, and there are different rules for somebody because they got star power and stuff like that, that's when the whole we the people stuff, that's when it doesn't work. That's when you start having more and more divisions in the world, in the country at the very least. Nah. We're all supposed to be born with a certain level of equality. And you can't earn the right to not be arrested for doing something that would get anybody else arrested unless you were like a Hollywood elite or a politician or something like that. That's unacceptable to me. That's what that is. It's unacceptable. Anyway. I hope this all gets figured out, but it won't. Let's face it, it won't. It'll be talked about a little bit. People make jokes. Everybody's wondering, what's going to happen to Will Smith and his career and blah, 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 blah. Is he going to be canceled? Dude ain't going to be canceled. I'm more worried about Chris Rock. What's this going to do to the man's psyche? The man got bitch slapped on live TV. They memed it. Him doing the, ooh. He saw that Chris Rock face, that, ooh, but it was more like, ooh. He got jacked hard, right? And then just, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Like, see, I really would have thought it would have sounded better. But anyway, yeah, my Chris Rock is horrible. Anyway, bad with impressions. I'm worried about this dude's career. Who's going to want to hire him at this point? Who's going to want to hire him? And for what role at this point? When it's always going to be in the back of people's minds, because you don't want somebody's personal life distracting you from watching a movie, right? There are a lot of people who've been typecast in movies, right? Or TV shows, like Al Bundy, the guy who played Ed Hannigan, I forget what his name is. Anyway, the guy who played Ed Bundy, this poor freaking guy. He can't. Al Bundy. He can't. Any role that he's in at this point, everybody's ready. It's Al Bundy. All these years later, 40 years later, it's Al Bundy. That's why the guy just can't get jobs for the most part. He can't get too many roles anymore, It sucks. And what's Chris Rock's typecast now? I don't know that he's been in a whole lot of movies where he's been some big tough guy or something like that, but like that's completely out of it right now. Being somebody who's like in love with something or whatever. Like he could be the kid who's bullied. He could be the guy, the adult who's bullied. He could be the 40-year-old version part 2, right? 40-year-old virgin part 2. That's what he could be in. However old he is, It sucks, but like that's what I'm saying. I'm more worried about this guy's future. Well, what's this guy done since Tambourine? I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But I feel more concerned about his future than I do about Will Smith's. Will Smith will be fine. He's going to be just fine. It is what it is. And Chris Rock is probably not going to press charges because then it'd be even more of, a bitch move. You called the cops on him because he didn't like your joke? Yeah. What are you going to do? You can't go after him after the fact. You can't go after him now. You want to, I'm going to save my manhood. I'm going to run up on him and hit him the next day. Well, now he's going to get you for assault. No, they're not going to, carry that over the next day. Oh, he was just defending himself 24 hours later. That's not how it works. Sorry. Yeah, I bet you Chris Rock gets no sleep that night, and possibly the next night too. I bet you he gets no sleep, sitting up, talking about, I was just bitch slapped. Like I'm a has-been, washed-up comedian, And people are talking about, oh, he should go on the red chair and talk about it. Then he'd be as big a cuck as Will Smith. No! If anything, he should do his own special. Now's the time to strike while the fire's hot. If he was going to make any money off of this, it's not going to make money for the Smith family. F the Smith family. Like the people go and bully you and beat you up and stuff like that, and then you go and make them a bunch of money while they control the narrative. It's their show. Come on. What's Will going to say? Oh, what you should have done was smack me back. I would have deserved it. You're making him more of a punk. Yeah, you didn't smack me back though, right? No. Now's the time for him to come up with any kind of material he's got and go back on tour. Maybe try and get, if he's got enough new material and he wants to talk, he should talk about this, because everybody, if you found out next month on Netflix there was going to be a Chris Rock comedy special, right, called The Slap Heard Around the World or whatever, tell me you wouldn't tune into that. Chris Rock has to be smart, and he has to monetize this for himself. Monetize what you can and make some money while you can. You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock's special isn't going to be nearly as hot as it would be right now. And that's what he needs to do. And he needs to forget about the red chair. They're going to say what they're going to say about the red chair. And Will Smith needs to apologize. And Chris Rock needs to monetize the hell out of this. And I'm done talking. I'll talk to you guys later. All right? Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.